Good morning, everybody. If you're just coming off the 8 a.m. worship service, we're so happy that you're with us. Or if you're a little early for the 9:15 worship service, we're happy that you're here too. We have got something real special for you today. This is that which takes place in between the before and the after. This is the Interlude. I'm Pastor Matt Knopf, the Executive Pastor of Innovation here at Casa de Cristo. We have an amazing set of guests for you today. You're going to love this. If you are in worship or, again, about to go into worship, you know that we have some special guests in our sermon today. And this is just a sampling of them. We have Christopher with us, we have Sharon, and we have Matt. All three of them are taking part in the worship services today. And they're with us for the interlude to give us a little kind of behind the scenes of how all this works. So I want to start with Christopher. And you did an awesome job. You were both last night at the Saturday service at 5 o'clock and this morning at 8 o'clock. Tell me, what's it like to be up there in front of all these people in worship?
It's really nice. I mean, I really appreciate the privilege of being able to talk, but more importantly, I appreciate the community. I just appreciate being able to be here with a bunch of people who truly love Christ and just have that loving community around me. So, yeah.
And Sharon, thank you. You're about to go up soon here in worship. You haven't done it yet, but I want to know, and I'm sure everybody watching is interested in this, how did this come about? Did you just call the office one day and say, hey, I want to give the sermon, or how did this work?
So be careful when Pastor Matt wants to talk to you because, so Pastor Matt approached me and just asked, would I be willing to come up and share my thoughts on how to stay connected with God?
And Matt, how about you? Did it work kind of the same way?
Well, mine was a little bit different. I guess I broke the two cardinal rules of being a Lutheran. I showed up to church early and I sat in the front row. So I was approached by Pastor Matt and was basically asked to share my thoughts on being connected as well as my thoughts on prayer. So, and then I heard that Michael Clark was going to be doing this, and I figured you need a little bit of help from keeping him from talking too much. So
That's right. Well, we're so excited by all of our panelists this morning. Every service is a little bit different, so it's great. We get a little different flavor each time. And Matt, I appreciate that you sit in the front row. You know, my favorite people are the ones that sit in the front row. For anyone that wants to get on the good side here at church, you sit in the front row. It's a great seat. So, Christopher, you specifically talk about Bible study, right? How long have you been digging into God's Word? I know you do it often. Like, when did that start? How did that come about for you?
Honestly, it was a culmination of people just throughout my life, like Pastor Matt, Pastor Jeff, my parents, just everyone investing in me, everyone truly showing me the importance of faith and showing me just how important it is to dig into God's Word and how we can learn His character through that. So really since a young age, I say since I was able to read, so like 5, I've really been reading God's Word as much as I can.
Awesome. Sharon, I know you're very involved at the church, and one of the most recent experiences that I had with you was on the high school summer trip, and you even delivered one of the messages, the full message, on summer trip. What was that like? What's like the preparation for that? What was it like to deliver it? Give us a little insight there.
Yeah, that is, that's kind of a mini miracle, I think, because, you know, I've always had in my heart that I want to share God's love. And so just over the years, I've always wondered, how is that going to kind of manifest and come about? And after being on the summer trip as a leader, I always thought in my heart, like, I wonder if I could give a message. I wonder if I have that in me. And I thought, well, you know, God, if you open the door, I'm just going to, you know, leave it in your hands and see, you know, if you give me the opportunity, I'm just going to give it a try. And so Susan Scudder came up to me and said, would you be interested in giving a message? And I thought, well, that's the sign I needed. And so I had no idea what I was going to say or how I was going to approach it, I knew how I was going to approach it, but I didn't know what I was going to talk about. And so my approach in those situations, because I've also spoken at on Sunday mornings to the youth and then on Wednesday nights to the youth. And then at the confirmation service, I had the chance to talk. But I really I say yes first. And then I pray for God to give me His thoughts. And I pray, you know, don't let it be my thoughts, but let it be your thoughts. So I pray that for a while, days and weeks, and then I start going to God's Word, and exactly, Christopher, what you said, just the importance of relying on God's Word. So then I turn to God's Word, and then I start, after a while of studying and praying, don't let it be my thoughts, then I start to say, okay, God, please start giving me your thoughts, and I just start writing down whatever comes to mind, and it all just somehow comes together, and it's honestly evidence of God working in my life, just Him showing Himself to me that way.
Yeah, thank you for your service, Sharon. It's great. So Matt, you haven't gone on yet for your sermon part this weekend, but give us a little sneak peek for all the viewers. What are you going to be talking about in your message today?
Yeah, thanks for that. And I think I go on here next. I think the big thing for me is, in the past, I tried to carve out time for Him, carve time out of my life for Him. And over the past several years, I've kind of taken a different approach to that. It's like I need to fold Him in. I need to incorporate Him into more of what I do instead of carving time out for Him. So that's a little sneak preview.
And I hear you're going to be talking about a particular sport that you're involved with.
Yeah, so I'm a pretty avid cyclist. I ride 6 days a week, I don't know, a couple hundred miles a week is what I do. And 5 of those 6 days a week I ride alone. And so I used to listen to all kinds of music, just stream Spotify. This is not an ad for Spotify, but they have a good service. And I'm like, you know what? I can just as easily stream a Christian music station or some of my favorite Christian artists. And that's what I started doing. So 5 days a week, and it's probably close to 10 to 12 hours I'm listening to Christian music. And I hear God through a lot of those songs. I love the new contemporary music. It's like right from the Bible, right? People are like, oh, this isn't, I'm like, there are Bible verses that are written right into these songs, and it's so awesome. And then it starts incorporating to sermons that I hear on Sunday mornings. And, I'm part of a men's Bible study, a men's group, if you will, connection group on Wednesday mornings. And we'll read something like, man, I just heard this. And all of a sudden we start expanding on it. So it's really, really cool to be able to incorporate just one little change by incorporating Him into my riding life, and all of a sudden it just opens up a whole new world for me to be able to listen to Him.
What a great thing for both your spiritual body but your physical body at the same time. So you're riding most days of the week. How many miles at a time are you going?
So during the week, because I have to get up and do it before work, I'm riding between 20 and 30 miles during the week. And then on the weekend, Saturday is usually between an 80 and 100-mile ride with a big group. I start before the group, I meet the group, and then they're done, and then I ride after the group to get my miles in. And then Sunday mornings, I do between, I'll say, 30 and 50 miles before church. One of the other reasons I go to the 10:30 service, because it allows me to get my rides in the morning.
You're an avid cyclist. That's fantastic.
And it's funny you say that, because I got into it, and Mark, if he was sitting here, he'll hear us on our next panel. He's my brother-in-law, and he's an emergency doctor, and I was not healthy for a long time, and he had a significant impact on me getting healthy. And I started riding for the health benefits, for the physical health, and now I stay riding for the mental health benefits.
Wow, that's powerful, amazing. Well, Christopher, you were on the high school summer trip as well, and one of the things we brought up today in our message is getting connected with God through service. You had some service projects on the summer trip. What was one of the service projects that you remember? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, there were a couple. So there was I Love a Clean San Diego, which was where we all went to the beach and we cleaned up some of the trash on the beach because sometimes it gets really dirty there. We just walked the boardwalks and stuff like that. At the church we were staying at, we helped take out some of the grass that was overgrown, and we put in new rocks, so that was a really cool service project. And then we went to a food bank, and a lot of those service projects were just super fun. I mean, like I said, just having a community of people who love Christ around you, who just love to serve. It's just such an amazing thing.
Yes. Well, thank you all. This has been so much fun this weekend. We have a lot more fun coming up. Reminder of just getting connected to God. For everyone watching, I hope this kind of stirs in you an ignition to get connected with God in any way that you can. Look forward to seeing you at our Get Connected event, August 6th and 7th. We're going to have a great ministry fair with all the ministries of the church, and you can kind of browse around and see where you fit in with getting connected to God. God bless you all. Thanks for joining us for the Interlude.